Starting now on Prime Time, we bring you details from a fatal crash in PD that left 2 women dead. Also, the second person wanted in connection to a shooting up in Harmon has been captured, and Public Health prepares to open up an infusion treatment center in Manila.
Half a day and good evening, everyone. An alarming 9 new COVID-related deaths were reported today, including a majority who were dead on arrival at the hospital. The governor held a news conference to update the community on this frightening new trend. Nestor Lecanto reports.
Appearing at her first news conference in several weeks, this is how the governor summed up this latest COVID surge.
We are in the eye of the most horrendous storm. And in that situation, we need to just all rally together and be united on this.
The governor described an alarming new trend in which multiple people have been brought to the hospitals dead on arrival. GMH Medical Director Dr. Jolene Uggin says she believes the victims might have suffered from silent hypoxia.
One of the biggest advice that I give for the community is if you are testing positive for COVID, that you purchase a pulse oximeter. Because this pulse oximeter at days 5 and on from your exposure is something that needs to be checked several times during the day, because you will not know that your oxygen levels are that low. And that's what I think is contributing to these dead on arrivals.
Dr. Uggin says if you register less than a 95 on the oximeter, you need to get to the hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, despite the new trend and the multi-week surge, the governor says she believes the current measures are providing enough protection, although they have talked about other options.
We have discussed lockdowns. We are looking at what we can do to help, maybe not a total lockdown, but maybe some other restrictions.
But the repeated message from the governor and health officials was to get vaccinated.
It is the fact that at the hospitals, the severity of the illness is not seen with vaccinated patients. You heard their census, and that most of the people that are in ICU are not vaccinated. Most of the people that are on the ventilators are not vaccinated. We're seeing dead on arrivals that are not vaccinated, and we're seeing longer duration of hospital cases not vaccinated.
The governor says they're even ahead of President Biden's just announced 6-step plan for fighting the virus, including more rapid testing and monoclonal treatment to head off the disease before it requires hospitalization. But she also urges the community to stick to the basics of what has worked before.
Wear your mask, watch your distance, wash your hands, and get vaccinated.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Public Health is preparing to open up what's called an infusion center where monoclonal antibody treatments will be administered. As Daniel Perez reports, the center will be located in Manila and manned by medical professionals sent by the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
At the request of Public Health, FEMA's team of doctors and medical professionals should be on the island now to augment and expand the agency's administration of monoclonal antibody treatments.
So we are anticipating the FEMA team to arrive sometime today or tonight, and for the next day or so, they will be undergoing orientation and training. The important thing now is getting the team ready and everything set up so that we can begin the infusion.
According to Public Health PIO Janela Carrera, 20 FEMA personnel will arrive on the island today, while 2 arrived last week. They will be manning an infusion center being set up at the Manilao Senior Center.
So our target is for Wednesday to begin infusion of the monoclonal antibody therapy here. So that's why you see that starting today we are beginning to do the setup, and that's what the beds are for. So hopefully what we'll have as a normal part of our strategy is infusion therapy as well. So we want to increase the number of doses of infusion therapy or courses of infusion therapy to, perhaps maybe 80 a day or even more.
Public Health was set to receive 96 doses of the RegenCov treatment last Friday. However, they are unsure if it arrived or not, according to Carrera. The doses are not only necessary for the infusion center to launch, but to address the number of people who have tested positive and signed up to receive the treatment.
We do have a wait list. I believe there are about 30 patients, and these are patients who were referred last week from the Teads test site.
The MAB treatment is part of a mitigation strategy to help cut down the rising numbers of hospitalizations. It's also part of President Biden's plan to counter the pandemic.
What we are really excited about, though, is that I know President Biden announced that he wants to increase the amount of monoclonal antibody therapy for the entire nation, and that, of course, is inclusive of territories.
The MAB treatment are emergency use authorized by the FDA for treatment of mild to moderate symptoms of COVID-19 in adults and pediatric patients. In order to receive the treatment, you must meet certain criteria and be referred by a physician. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Daniel Perez.
Thanks, Daniel. As a reporter, the Guam Memorial Hospital and GRMC have been administering the RegenCove treatment. However, as we reported, GMH ran out of doses last week. Spokesperson May Habib confirmed that the hospital received a new shipment of 168 vials on Saturday, but only 24 were within the right temperature range. The remaining 144 vials were deemed unusable. Public Health PIO Janela Carrera gave us an update on the expansion of the testing site and the vaccination clinics.
We are slowly expanding. We've added a second location for testing. So we're now at the Southern Region Community Health Center. We've added that as a testing location once a week on Fridays, and that's from 8 to 12. So that's in addition to our testing site at Teads. In terms of vaccination, we have multiple sites, multiple dates, or multiple times a week. So we have the UOG Fieldhouse. We have it twice a week at the Micronesia Mall, which is Thursdays and Saturdays. We have our Northern Public Health location. We also have the Southern location for vaccination. So in terms of vaccination, we're all over the place and multiple times a week.
Public Health is looking to expand the testing sites, but as of right now, there's no word yet on where and when that will actually happen. KUAM meanwhile confirms that an elderly woman had an adverse reaction to her second vaccine shot at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Dr. Hoa Nguyen was called to the vaccination clinic by an attending nurse after the elderly woman experienced respiratory distress. During the monitoring period, personnel from the Guam National Guard stabilized her and medics with ALS transferred her to the closest medical facility, which in this case was Naval Hospital. Dr. Nguyen confirmed she is still hospitalized, but added she also has multiple comorbidities. He stresses that the vaccine is still very safe and encourages residents who have not done so to please get the shot. And we invite you to voice your view on our Facebook and Instagram with our daily question. Sound off on the issues that matter to you. Today's question is, would you support a 2-week lockdown to contain the spread of COVID-19? We'll be sharing the responses on the link with Chris and myself every morning. The serious car crash that occurred Saturday evening in Pidi has claimed a second life. As reported, a black Hyundai Tucson was traveling south by Polaris Point when the vehicle ran off the roadway and crashed into a utility pole. A 29-year-old woman was declared dead at the scene, and 2 female occupants were rushed to the hospital. According to GPD spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau, while en route to Naval Hospital, one of the victims, also a 29-year-old female, had died from her injuries. This crash investigation remains open. It marks the island's 13th and 14th traffic-related fatalities this year. The second man wanted in connection to last month's shooting at a home along Tranquilo Court in Harmon has been arrested. Detectives captured 31-year-old Justin Michael Duenas hiding out in the Totu area. He was being helped by Georgette Garrido to evade apprehension. Duenas' arrest follows last week's arrest of Jensen DeVellis. Both were arrested for attempted murder and aggravated assault. According to court documents, Duenas allegedly shot the victim in the chest and then got into a physical fight with him. Duenas was booked and confined, while Garrido was booked and released. The All Rise payments are finally being sent out. Department of Administration Director Edward Burns says they received the first batch of payment information from DRT today. DOA began processing some $19,500,000 worth of payments. They will send out 8,081 checks and 10,155 electronic fund transfers. The EFTs could be received as early as today. Checks might be in the mail by tomorrow or Wednesday. Meanwhile, DRT continues to work on the next batch of payments as part of the first in, first out process. Stay tuned. We're back with more news on Prime Time.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
You doing okay with those new spicy tiny tacos, Jack?
Yeah, it's funny. Some of those people you see,
They can't handle it at all, right?
Oh, they can.
That's not you.
That's not me. No. Try my new spicy tiny tacos, only at Jack in the Box.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Our family was recently challenged with a difficult medical condition where my son needed a liver transplant. And I asked Cabo Select Care to assist me with that, and he required off-island care. In fact, it can only be taken care of off-island. So Cabo Select Care was there to help with all the referrals and the off-island coverage.
GovGuam employees and retirees. Enroll now.
Hi, my name is Justine Chu.
Jim Pamplona.
Alexis Sublan. I'm Minami Kramer, and I'm a GTA youth leader.
Because of GTA, I was able to go to Interlaken, a summer music camp over the summer, and I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity.
It helped me pay for my college tuition with a scholarship.
Benefits, including a free phone and a year free service.
If you're someone who wants to inspire others, help others, and become a better person, this is for you.
Become a GTA youth leader today.
The new crispy chicken sandwich taco from Taco Bell. Is it a sandwich or a taco? Which side are you on? Try it only at Taco Bell.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back to Prime Time. Governor Lulian Guerrero's allowed the fiscal year 2022 budget bill to lapse into law without her signature. In a transmittal letter to Speaker Therese Terlahi late Saturday night, the governor said among the reasons she didn't sign the measure was the amendment by Terlahi to increase revenue projections by $20 million and lockbox it to pay for tax refunds. She called it premature at best and reckless at worst. She says the legislature is relying on a surplus that is not certain to occur. The speaker responded in a release of her own, saying, quote, all budgets are based on projections and need to be adjusted throughout the year so that it is responsible and responsive to the agency's needs and critical services for the community. She adds that there is no excuse to lag behind other jurisdictions in returning the people's money. The governor also objected to what she called a drastic action to restrict her transfer authority from the customary 15% to 5%. She said limiting her ability to redirect appropriations during a pandemic is short-sighted. Terlahi said that the legislature must now address the urgent needs the budget can't address and ensure fairness and transparency for the $600 million that Guam is holding in the bank. Mayor's Council of Guam President Jesse Alex says he's thankful that the new fiscal year 2022 budget is now on the books. The governor allowed the spending measure to lapse into law, as I just said, this weekend without her signature. Mayor Alex says they got the budget they needed, and a long-standing issue about how to divide up the money was also resolved.
I know that the $10 million that was given to the council will certainly be put to good use. We're hoping now to hear about any funds coming from the American Rescue Plan. The other thing about the new budget for fiscal 22 is that I know it's been a contentious subject for many, many years, and we're happy to announce that the legislature has also helped us in making sure that the money is given to the districts appropriately, proportionately.
He says every district will get $20,000, but then the rest of the money will be split based on village population size based on the 2021 street survey.
It's going to be a change for a lot of the The smaller, it's going to be changed for all the districts because the larger districts will certainly have more money. And I'm hoping that because they'll have more money, we can properly address their issues.
And Mayor Alex says the #1 issue, particularly in those bigger villages, is illegal trash dumping. He says the mayors continually get complaints about trash. He says that they get calls about trash all day, every day. The Guam Department of Education is planning numerous options for students to return to face-to-face instruction for the eventual reopening of schools. With more, here's Isaiah Uggin.
Although Governor Lulian Guerrero's executive order suspending in-person instruction has no exact date for when it will be lifted, the Guam Department of Education is preparing for the reopening of schools, whether it be in full return, in scheduled cohorts, or hybrid. Guam DOE Superintendent John Fernandez stated during an input session Friday amongst faculty and staff that the governor is prioritizing the return of face-to-face instruction as soon as it's safe to do so. He also pointed out that how students will return to classes will be up to the department. In the meantime, GDOE is working on a plan for the ultimate reopening of in-person instruction. GDOE has 3 options for reopening. Option 1 is the full return, where all registered students for in-person learning will return to their classrooms physically, which will maximize instructional time for students. In order for that return, the community risk level must be low and schools must commit to mitigation of the spread of the COVID-19 virus. The second option would be in the scheduled cohorts, which means half the school population attends classes rotating each day with the other half of the student population. The benefits of this option is it will lower the number of students on the campuses and will phase in the approach to full return of in-person learning. However, it reduces instructional time for students.
That way we can lower the numbers who are on campus and we can ensure and monitor this, that it's safe to continue operating before we further expand to full 5-day instruction. Of course, that's going to be a challenge for us. And I know members of the board are thinking about the impact that this will also have on instructional time. But, it's something that we can consider as a phased-in approach.
And there is the hybrid option, which means some students will return to in-person learning while others are phased in.
This is something that we just need to discuss in more detail. And this would involve looking at opportunities for certain categories or sections of the population being able to return for full face-to-face instruction, while others, go into a cohort or a phased-in approach. So one example of that might be, if we have the secondary school students or high school students, and we can demonstrate that they have a high vaccination rate because they've taken advantage of the vaccination drives that we've been supporting, then there might be a consideration that we allow for the high school students to return for face-to-face instruction, while maybe the younger students, we take a different approach.
As we reported, both public and private schools in-person instruction was suspended through an executive order by the governor due to the rise of COVID-19 cases on the island. There's still no timeline for when some 28,000 students are expected to return to face-to-face learning at all 41 GDOE public schools, according to Fernandez. Reporting for Guam News Network, Guahusi Isaiah Uggin.
Thanks, Isaiah. With the grab-and-go school meal distributions in full swing, the Mayor's Council of Guam has stepped in to assist getting meals out to student families who need it. PD Mayor and MCOG President Jesse Allig explained that among their many duties, the Guam Department of Education has requested help from the mayors island-wide to get meals out to students who can't avail of the free meals due to transportation issues.
GDOE has asked us for help in passing out senior meals, the excess meals, student meals, because, not everyone has transportation to pick up meals. So Sodexo has hundreds of meals left over. And, they're just trying to farm that out to everyone else that needs it, all the students that need it. And so for those residents who don't have a ride, or for those residents who are actually, those parents that are working and students can't access food, that's where we come in, is we make those deliveries to their homes.
According to GDOE Interim Public Information Officer Michelle Franquez, no complaints have been filed as to the long lines, and most people lining up to acquire the food are familiar with them. GDOE's grab-and-go school meal program was developed to ensure students continue to receive nutritious meals daily and to help alleviate the stress of students and families during the school closures. In our next report, the brave nurses of the American Medical Center tell us how they're holding the line. Daniel Perez has more.
AMC Patient Services lead Janelle Kinata has been with the American Medical Center for 5 years and has been fighting COVID since it first arrived. Licensed practical nurse Tina Santos has been with AMC for 9 years and is holding the line along with the other frontliners.
We have been here since March 2020. At one point for a whole year, my team, Patient Services and Nurses Station, we actually had a table set out for a whole year, not having patients enter the clinic. We were outside screening 8 hours a day. I mean, the clinic is hours from 8 to 6. So we were out there in N90, in proper PPEs, and we were assessing patients.
Our overall goal is to decrease the amount of patients that end up in the hospital. So if we can assist the public or public health with seeing the patients that don't need to be in the hospital, we'll take them in.
Kinata says although tired, the AMC nurses are still in the fight and want the island to win against the COVID-19 virus.
We want the island to get better. It's tiring, but at the end of the day, it's a rewarding feeling knowing that this is the services that we're offering to the public.
Being away from family is the sacrifice Santos has to make in order to keep them safe from COVID-19. But it's worth it to keep them safe while helping the island against the virus.
We have to be here, Unfortunately, we have a job where we maintain throughout the whole pandemic, and that not only did we have to come to work every day, we had to put in more hours, and so it did take time away from our family.
Kinata further added that social gatherings should be avoided for now, because you never know who might be carrying COVID-19 with them.
You don't know. It could be a cousin, an auntie, an uncle, any family member that you can easily expose yourself of. Bring it home to your kids, and then we bring it to American Medical Center, where we're trying to also keep everyone safe.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Daniel Perez.
And everyone here can't thank all of our frontliners enough for holding the line. Stay tuned. Coming up next, sports.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live más.
When making the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich, people asked how I felt about burger places selling fried chicken. I'd say that's none of my business. Just like making fried chicken is none of theirs. Get the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich. It's finger-licking good.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever-changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific. And that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have 2 of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, where you get smart insights into your finances so you can make smart decisions with your money. With a daily personalized feed, you can compare your monthly income to spending. That's better. Discover where your money is actually going. You might be surprised. See what's essential and what isn't. The more you use the app, the smarter it gets. With insights from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
Pizza Hut's Detroit-style pizza is back. Same crispy crust, cheese all the way to the edge, and the sauce still on top. Okay, now I'm hungry. The Detroit-style pizza. Create your own or pick from 3 signature recipes. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
with me, LJ Uggin. Congratulations on your amateur bout, picking up a win in your debut. Get to the beginning. You stepped into the MMA gym. You're stationed in Montana. Walk us through how this all started.
Just to implement more training for like the military life and all that stuff. So originally it just started off as like a recreational thing and a fitness thing. And it just so happened that Joe Diesel Riggs, I don't know if anybody knows who he is. Well, if you pay attention to MMA, he's a current and soon to retire out of the UFC MMA fighter. He just so happened to be opening a gym in the same town as my base. And we walked in, we got to meet him. He was only doing a soft opening at the time. And we told him we were interested in joining the gym. So long story short, we joined the gym. He just hits me with, hey, you should, fight under me, under like Diesel Counterpunch's MMA gym as an amateur MMA fighter. I said, I don't know about all that. I'll think about it. I'll think on it. And just because of the risk-based assessment that I had with my career path in the Air Force, I didn't want anything hindering like me getting hurt and then holding me out of work and all that stuff. So I just stuck with boxing. I was coming in and just doing boxing classes. 3 months later, he was telling me how like I've kind of just picked up the sport pretty quick. Learning the concept of the sport pretty well. He just told me it was like a natural, like athletic thing that I've just picked up on.
How far into the fight did you get comfortable and know when you were able to start picking your shots and finish your opponent off?
After that first jab, it was like we both didn't want to go. Like I wanted him to come in, push the pace or like come forward and make me react, because I feel like as a fighter, naturally I'm a counter puncher. I put that jab out there for him to bait forward, but he didn't come forward. So I hear in the background one of my training partners go, "Be first, LJ." So as soon as I heard that, I just pulled the trigger and put that first hook on him, and he was rocked and tried to go for the kill. And they, as you know, an amateur, they do standing counts. So when the ref saw he was rocked after that first hook I put on him, that was it. I mean, I knew from the jump that this guy, after he felt, that tomorrow power, he didn't want to be in there no more. So I just went and pulled the trigger on it right there and then. An amateur, they do standing counts. So when the ref saw he was rocked after that first hook I put on him, that was it.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
You are everything that matters to me, and I promise to do whatever it takes to keep you healthy, to be comfortable, and to be free. I love you. As long as we're together, I'll always make sure that home will always be our best place to breathe.
This is a bag. But for Steve, this bag gives him food cred. Because now everyone knows that when they have that craving, or they're just looking for the perfect deal, well, they just need to follow Steve.
Follow him all the way to the new McTerry Deluxe at McDonald's. It's an all-beef patty smothered with teriyaki sauce topped with lettuce and tomato on a sesame seed bun. For a limited time, price and participation may vary.
100% truck, 100% Jeep. Experience next-level off-roading on your new Jeep Gladiator, the most capable off-road midsize pickup truck crafted for adventure, equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary 4x4 Jeep capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a 2021 Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $315 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Visit CarsPlusGuam.com to get pre-approved online today. Terms and conditions apply. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Welcome back. Tonight we feature Häagen-Dazs as one of the many businesses on island that is Guam Safe certified by the Guam Visitors Bureau and carries the WTTC Safe Travel stamp.
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Half day, my name is John Isaac Bohol, Assistant General Manager for Häagen-Dazs Guam. Häagen-Dazs felt it was important to get the Guam Safe certified stamp because we wanted to show our employees, staff, even though we're all facing this pandemic, we wanted to make sure that everyone's taken care of, and we want to ensure our safety of our employees and the customers, that everyone is able to enjoy our ice creams here in the shop. And we also want to promote a clean and safe environment. For Häagen-Dazs, the Guam Safe certified stamp meaning that we're taking all the recommended and proper precautions to ensure that our staff, employees are able to experience our half a day that we are known for. We want to ensure that customers that we take this pandemic seriously. We are doing the best that we can to provide a safe and sterile environment for the families and friends who wants to patronage our products. Häagen-Dazs is now taking on extra precautions to ensure the safety of our employees and staff from the office to the dining floor. We ensure our staffs to wash their hands frequently or every other task, and also we want them to use the proper PPE for every operations and during interactions with the customers. We make sure that we have a hand sanitizer by the entrance and also a sign-in sheet form for our customer who comes in and out. Using a proper PPE like masks, gloves, this will help us to prevent the contaminations and the spread of the virus.
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
And finally, everybody's favorite part of the show, Jason Solis with your birthday shout-outs.
Happy birthday on September 13th to Sierra Josefa Pinzon Quito. Happy 4th birthday, Boss Baby Pie. We love you, say your Ninos and Ninas and the families. Happy birthday to my beautiful wife. This is going out to Jenny Carbolito, who celebrates a birthday today. And our own Chris Barnett gets 2 birthday greetings. First, happy birthday to Chris. Happy 47 is heaven to you, coming from your mom and the kids, the family, and your KUAM friends and family. And greeting number 2. Happy birthday, Chris, coming from Bestie Blue. Match made in heaven, for sure. Also, happy belated birthday wishes going out to Julieta Kineni. Happy birthday to my wife from the beautiful village of Malesu. From the Kineni clan, her husband Tony, and sons DeMarco, Tony, Ryan, and Kyle. Manuel Salas, we are so blessed to have a son like you who keeps us on our toes. A challenge, yes you are. And what do you have in store for us as you get older? Nonetheless, you will always be loved by Mommy, Daddy, Matt, Jace, Jude, Arya, Ariel, Amelia, and Thomas. We wish you a happy and blessed birthday. Rika Leon Guerrero celebrates birthday number 3 this year, and to our little girl, God bless you, and we wish you many more great birthdays. We love you. And Noreen Cruz Torres, happy birthday to you. Happy, blessed belated birthday wishes, Noreen, from your entire family.
And that's it for Primetime. Stay tuned. Up next, Joan Uggin with Extra. Plus, we'll see you tomorrow morning for The Link. Bye.
Half a day and welcome to News Extra. I'm your host, Joan Uggin. Thanks so much for tuning in.